Okay, Jordan, we have to talk about the worst thing I watched this week. We have to talk about I can't do things. I can't do it. I can't do the theme song, Jordan.
Bridget Jones' Diary.
No, my final half scene, Jordan, and I hadn't. I say half scene in air quotes because I had never watched this thing in its entirety, but I'd seen because in case you don't know, I've mentioned it before. I used to work at a movie theater, and a big part of
What? You've never once
I've
mentioned
never
this.
brought this
I don't
up.
think I don't think the audience has any idea.
But part of working in a movie theater is doing what's known as theater checks. Make sure everything's okay. So I had seen most of this movie in chunks, and also, and we're gonna get into it. It was usually the last movie playing, so I had to wait a lot of times for this stupid movie to end so I can go home. This movie was crap. I hated it. I hated it so much. I'm not even gonna dance around it. It fucking
Ba
sucked.
ba da ba da da ba.
Give me a kiss goodnight. It's the last single girl kiss.
The ultimate single gal, Carrie Bradshaw, will be married to John James Preston come fall.
Should we get you a diamond?
No, just get me a really big closet. After years of living in the city, I assumed that if my friends and I ever
Da, 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 da,
Are you
da,
singing the
da.
theme song?
That's the theme song, right?
I don't know if I'm doing it right. I don't think
I'm
I'm doing it
pretty I'm
right.
pretty sure that's it.
It was
So as a 30-something-year-old man who this movie is definitely not for, how did it make you feel, Justin?
okay.
What emotions did it bring from the depths of your soul?
Rage? No. I okay. I'll start. I'll start.
Ra-
I'll,
Rage?
I'll start. I'll start with this. Very much, I did have the thing of, am I just a guy or I had to text my female friends and be like, do women find this relatable? Like, at all? Like, I guess maybe that's my point. I'll start with this. Do women find Sex in the City relatable? Because there are several points in this movie where it's just a bunch of rich white women. Like, Samantha is living in LA, but constantly travels to New York to visit the girls. And, like, at one point, Miranda talks about how she's gonna have her nanny trek up and down the.
Miranda.
That's the
She's the
redhead.
redhead, right?
Yeah. She's gonna have this nanny like trek up and down the city between her and her ex-husband's place. And I'm like, are there women out there who relate to this? Like, because I'm not a woman, I'm not gonna be like definitively be like this isn't relatable, but it just doesn't feel relatable.
Women
Also,
in their women in their wasn't this show patently made for women in their 40s?
I don't know. Being that I didn't watch the show and this doesn't make me want to watch it. Like I thought this was okay. Man, just this is gonna be a disjointed mess. The number one thing is number one thing is it's too long. First and foremost, it's 2.5 hours. It's way too long. It goes for an eternity. I felt I had aged 1,000 years watching it. Like I felt like I've been watching it for 10 years. I think I sent you the one clip of the agonizingly long song them singing "Old Lang Syne" in Gaelic or Irish or whatever for just like an eternity. And it's structured so badly. It's structured less like a movie and more like a season of television. It just feels like this was like a season of television's worth of ideas that they squished into a 2.5 hour long movie. Because you've got stuff like, okay, so Miranda, who has been busy with work and kids, whatever, is not able to keep up with her marriage. And so her husband cheats on her with some woman and they break up. And Carrie, who has been with Big post the end of the series, they've been together for 3 years now and they want to move in together, but they can't or they don't want to because they're not married. The house will be in his name and he will have all of the assets. So they decide to get married. And then um Samantha is living in LA with her hot emotionally attentive like boyfriend who only cares about her feelings and what she cares about and just wants to like love her and be with her, but she is unhappy because he doesn't love her enough because she cares only cares about her. Like at one point, she wants to buy this ring, and he buys it instead of her, and then gives it to her as a gift. And she's upset about this because now every time she looks at this ring, she will think of him instead of her. So she ends up at the end of the movie leaving him because she's a massive narcissist.
So the real important question here for me, Justin, is how many minutes into this did it take for your eyes to glaze over?
About 10. Like
Wow, you made 10. You made 10 minutes, eh?
the first
That's
like
That's
a
impressive.
significant portion of the opening of this movie is just her recapping the events of the series. In case you didn't know, in case you didn't watch the series, she literally
Well,
showed
that was considerate of them
it,
because you had never seen the
it's
series.
it's
See,
li-
they were just thinking about you,
it's
Justin.
literally a clip show of just all the stuff that happened in the movie. So you're like, oh, okay, so this is where the characters are now. Got it, makes sense. And like, yeah, it's at one point she's getting married. Okay, so the big conflict of this movie is, and this is one of those like maybe I'm just a guy moments. I'm sure some woman's gonna chew me out, but like it just seems like Carrie overreacts in this movie because okay, Big, who is a guy who has notorious cold feet about getting married, the day before he gets married, talks to Miranda, who is going through troubles in her marriage, and this causes him to have cold feet. So he almost doesn't show up. But like it's not like he like leaves her standing at the altar. He just kind of drives past the wedding, realizes he's made a mistake, and drives back. And she like gets up and like flips out at him and starts screaming at him, and it's like you've humiliated me in front of everybody. And I'm like, but how? All of the guests are just kind of arriving. Like the ceremony hasn't begun yet. It's a movie where so much of the conflict and the drama in the movie could be resolved if like these two adults in an adult relationship would have a conversation. Like he seems like a bad okay. In my opinion, if someone calls you kid in your relationship, like he calls her kid, and that just is, I'm just like, that just sort of indicates to me that you don't respect her. Because I'm like, if you
Yeah,
don't,
you should be equals. Her
right?
being a kid implies that she's lesser than you,
Right?
and that you, as a misogynistic man, believe that she should get back in the kitchen.
That's how it comes. That may not be how it is, but that's how their relationship comes across. He kind of seems like a massive prick. Like
Like a chauvinistic, like a
right.
chauvinistic pig.
Right, yeah, like a chauvinistic pig, yeah. Like they go to the apartment, he's like, I got this. Like, what? Okay. And like from what I could tell, nobody really likes him anyway. Because apparently people don't like him to the point that he died on a Peloton. So apparently he does suck. So it's the kind of movie where I'm like, maybe I hate this because I just don't like Sex in the City. Maybe people who like Sex in the City like this, and then you go and you look it up, like, nope. People who hate Sex in the City also hate this. So it's just generally people just don't like a movie.
Then you fit right in.
But also it's paced in such a fashion where, again, there's no like first act, second act, third act. It does not follow the 3-act structure like at all. 1 minute like she's getting married, and you're like, okay, so the movie is about like that's where I'm like, it's several storylines in a show smushed together in a season, smushed together in a 2.5 movie. Because like 1 minute she's getting married, and like they're planning a wedding, and it's about her wedding, and it's about the fact that these two iconic characters are finally getting married, and that's what it's about. And then no, they're not getting married, and now they're on vacation in Dubai or whatever, and Charlotte drinks shit water, and like the humor is about the fact that they're on vacation. It's like, nope, then they're back from vacation and she's hiring an assistant. And I'm like, wait, weren't they just on vacation? Like, what is it? Like, there's no through line to this movie. It's, again, so long and so boring, and scenes just go on for fucking ever, and none of the relationships are interesting enough or like engaging enough. I didn't care about any of these people, quite frankly. I thought they were all just bad people. They all just seemed like bad people, and it did not make me want to watch the show. And the funniest comment I got was someone being like, man, if you think the first one, the second one's even worse. And I can't imagine it's worse. I think it has to be better by nature of the fact that I think it's shorter. I'm pretty sure it's shorter. I think it's only an hour and 45. I'm pretty sure it's shorter. You know what? In fact, you know what? You know what? We're gonna look this up right now on air.
So the real question is
Fuck, I
it
hated that
worse
movie.
than is it worse than The Room?
It is. I think it is worse than The Room.
Like, like actually, or you just dislike it?
I mean, probably not actually. I will say of the ones I watched, like you would think I would say that Death Note was worse, but my god, I hated this so much worse.
No, I expected you to say this was worse. That's
Wow,
why I picked
it's
it.
just as long. That's absurd. In fact, I think it's a minute longer. It's 2 hours 26. That's incredible. No, that must be even worse. God, yeah, it was just such a miserable. I was so unhappy the entire time. I'm like, I thought at least it'd be kind of funny. Like there'd be some jokes in it that were kind of funny. And the entire time I was just like, this just feels unrelatable to everybody. I don't understand how anybody could like this.
Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. I'll find a way to make him watch the second one. It'll be funny.
That Sex in the City, it was awful. It was bad.
Why, hello there. It's N-Card Justin again. Let me know. Have you seen the Sex and the City movie? Do you like the Sex and the City movie? Somebody explain to me in the comments why, if indeed you like the Sex and the City movie, how you could possibly like this garbage movie. Because my god, I hated that movie. But anyway, click the video on the left if you want to see the full podcast that this video is from, including we talked about The Room for a very long time. Very fascinating story. Or you can click the video on the right and that'll take you to a video that YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy. Otherwise, click the subscribe button and we'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.